Welcome to another PL Together Lounge Talk. I'm Adam Geller, founder and CEO of Edthena, the platform that streamlines feedback to teachers. Today, we're talking with Nita Creekmore. She's an instructional coach in the Atlanta, Georgia area, but she's also an instructional coach with a massive online community. I almost said following community of friends on Instagram. She's also an instructional coach who's in residence with Elena Aguilar's coaching organization, Bright Morning Team, which, if I were to say it a different way, she's an instructional coach, who does things beyond what people normally think of as an instructional coach. And that's what you're here to talk about now. Nita, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
So there are many educators who become instructional coaches because of a variety of reasons. One of the reasons might be that it allows a different pathway for professional growth. But in every role, there's that kind of need to keep growing, keep extending. And in the case of the instructional coach, that's going to be beyond the four walls of the school. And that's something that you've done. And so I'd love for you to maybe share a little bit about that process that you went through for other instructional coaches who may look at you and say, I wonder how I do that. So if somebody out there is watching, they want to stretch, how do you suggest they get started?
First thing is, like when I first became a coach, I got Elena Aguilar's book, The Art of Coaching, because I became a coach, but I was like, what do I do now? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I got her book and dug into that. So some of the PL that I do, because I feel like learning is continuous, is things that I've reached out on my own, right? Out of my four walls, not that my district has like told me to do this. So I dug into a lot of Elena Aguilar's work, but also just I looked for conferences that are free or not that expensive. Simply Coaching and Teaching, Nicole Turner, who's also a coach of mine. She has a wonderful conference that was not there when I first became a coach, but is great for coaches now. So that's some good PL in and of itself. Again, like Elena has a platform of also of coursework that you can take for, coaching for equity. Now she has one, Coaching Emotions, which I think is great and timely, of different learning paths that you can take. And so when I first became a coach 5 years ago, it's so interesting, Adam, of how much this has grown to like feed into coaching. And so my suggestion would be to just Google it, find the good stuff, because there really are some coaches out there that are just teaching and just showing the pathways of different aspects of coaching. And so that's some of the things that I did for myself, just feed into myself as a coach. And then also just using some of that work that I did and doing it in my school. So there's teachers that don't mind me like doing when I first became a coach, practicing on them, if you will, but like practicing my coaching skills on them, especially if you have a good relationships with some of your teachers, hopefully all of them, but some of the ones that are okay with you, using your coaching skills to hone your skills, because you're always a learner as a coach, but then also to coach them up as well. So it ends up being a win-win situation. So that's kind of where I started with some of my PL. And again, I'm always a learner, so I'm always doing learning and always looking for new PL, even for myself, even though this is my 5th year as a coach and 18th year in education.
One of the things I think you slipped in there that I want to kind of highlight, it's like the piece of connecting to the content, but I feel like there might be another interpretation or definition of the word connect in that moment, which is actually reaching out and connecting to other educators. Maybe it's not something that every educator has done where they've reached out to someone outside their district. So I guess talk us through that. Like, should an instructional coach feel comfortable just emailing somebody that they know is in the work? Like, should they hold back? Do they need to get to a certain number of followers on Twitter before they feel comfortable for this? Like, give them some guidance there on taking that first step to connect with other people.
Yeah, I always say go for it. So like, here's the thing. Nicole Turner and I reached out to each other on Instagram. And literally, I was like, and she was educator caravan at that point. She was not simply coaching and teaching, that's been revamped. And now it's like all beautiful and it was beautiful before, but, um, and she reached out to me and I was like, oh my God, like, and she has been like a coach for me. I feel like every coach needs a coach, right? Just from me reaching out to her. So I would just say, like, reach out to people. People are more personable than you could even imagine. I've had so many people just go on my DMs and say, hey, just became a literacy, just this week, actually, just became a literacy coach. What are some tips for me, going in the second semester? What would you say, tell me to do this week going in? And literally I video coached them in the middle of DMs, like, and just told them, definitely you want to make sure you're going in every classroom, positive, 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 those types of things to build relationships and different things like that. But people are more personable than you think. So instead of just like not reaching out, completely reach out and just say, hey, and you end up building a community of coaches that I haven't even met. There's so many people that I haven't even met in person, that it's all been virtual. Me and Nicole Turner have never met in person, but I swear we talk all the time. And then Buzzing with Miss B on Instagram, like, some of her work from Teacher Pay Teachers helped me to just get started too. And so I always tell her, like, oh my gosh, like, we talk to each other all the time as coaches now, but initially 5 years ago, I was like, oh, Buzzy with Miss B. And so there's really great people out there to build a community, because the instructional coach world is really growing, because schools are noticing that that is a need that needs to happen as a buffer kind of between admin and teachers. And we need that curriculum piece and also just compassionate coaching piece, for teachers and educators. And so definitely building the community. Don't feel like, just put yourself out there. I always tell people, go for it. Like, that's, if you look at my feed, I'm always about just go for it. What's the worst that can happen, right? You make a coaching friend.
That's right. I think the other thing for coaches to remember is that other coaches and other educators, no matter if you've heard of them before or not, they're in it for the same reasons as you are. And so, you have
Absolutely.
that shared framework to kind of build that relationship. So I like that. Just go for it. Well,
Mhm.
Nita, thank you so much for the conversation. If you're wondering what we talked about before this, make sure you head to pltogether.org for this, as well as many more conversations. Nita, thanks for being part of PL Together.
Thank you so much. It's been great being here with you.